Tracy here, and in this video we are going to look at the first couple pages that I create using the contents that came with this kit. This was a Becky Higgins all-in-one scrapbooking kit, and it is supposed to cover the entire year. So it came with like 26 plastic pages and a whole bunch of cards with different designs and little prompts on it. So this is the first few pages where I'm actually using those items. You can see here on this first page, there are 3 compartments. There are 2 smaller compartments on the top and then 1 large compartment on the bottom, which is about the size of a 4x6 photo. So this card that I'm decorating here for the first square originally says, week 1, which would align with the first week of the year. But since I'm not starting this scrapbook at the beginning of the year, I figured I will use that one and turn it into a little description of what the picture at the bottom is going to be about. So I just used a permanent marker to black out the word week, added Holden's first trip to the ocean. That's just what I wrote there. And that's going to go in the first square. In the second square, I'm also using a card that came with this kit. And it just has lines on it so you could write whatever you wanted. So I put the date and the location of this picture. I like to label all of the photographs that I do so I know where they came from and when they were taken. I usually put names as well, just so in the future, if my son is looking at this scrapbook 5 or 10 years from now, he'll be like, oh, that was me. That wasn't my sister or some other child in our family. So then for this bottom one, that's like the 4x6 size, I just cut out a yellow piece of scrapbook paper to match the 4x6 size so it would slide in there really easily. And then I took a picture of my son and his dad, and I kind of cut part of it off so that it would fit on the yellow piece of scrapbook paper. And I'm just taping it because I don't want the picture to wrinkle. I also don't want the yellow scrapbook paper to wrinkle, just in case. So I'm just using tape here. And I chose yellow because it's going to match or correlate with the page on the opposite side that I already did. And then these 3 pieces just slide in here really nicely. And so then there's the first page of the all-in-one kit using the all-in-one kit components. So then on the back here, I'm going to make a different page, and this is a picture of my first ultrasound with my second baby. So I'm going to make a page dedicated to that because that's what came next in September. All of the cards that came with the Becky Higgins all-in-one kit are front and back. So there's something on the front and there's something on the back. So theoretically, you don't have to use more than 1 card for each compartment on the page. However, to make it match and to kind of give it give each page a new look, I do double up some of the cards. So in this one, I just taped the ultrasound picture to one of the green cards that came with the kit. And then I'm writing down the date and just a little description. And just keeping this page really, really nice and simple. There's not a lot to it, but I do want to highlight this because it's a big event in the life of my family. And I'm just going to pop that new card right in there. and I picked the green flowery one to kind of match the pink flowery one that is the back of the opposite page. And then I had cut out those hearts just to cover up the faces of my husband and son on the previous page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that as a little decoration for this page. I just thought that it might be cute to put a couple little hearts on there. It was funny because after I put this in the scrapbook, my son got a little upset that I had actually used it for the scrapbook because he had been playing with it. So I had to cut him out another one. So I do have another one laying around that could come in handy for future scrapbook pages. So I just trimmed these here so that I could just pop those on. But then I wasn't really sure where I wanted them to go. I thought maybe the corners of the bottom piece would look cute. But then I ended up deciding that adding the hearts to the pink flowery one would add like another level of interest and intrigue to that top corner. So it's not just plain, it's not just a card from the all-in-one kit. It has a little bit of decoration on it. So then I just glued these outlines there. I tried to line them up in the middle so you could kind of still see the flowers behind. So that just adds a little bit of decoration to an otherwise, I don't want to say boring top left corner, but because it's not boring with the flowery background and the pretty pink pastel color, but it makes the page a little more personal instead of just sticking to the all-in-one kit supplies. So then after I slide that back in there, that page is done. So nice 2 pages finished for the scrapbook, just really quickly. And you can see there that yellow is aligning with the page before it, which is why I chose that. And those are both from the same day. And then you can see that next page right there really nicely. So then for this third page here, I chose another plastic liner that has 3 compartments again. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of trouble with the pages that have 4 compartments just because they aren't really big enough for pictures. So I'm a little nervous whenever I get to those, whenever I get to using those, how I'm going to really incorporate photographs along with the all-in-one kit components. So on this one, it's just a picture of my husband and one of his friends out snorkeling. That was the first time, I think, that my husband had ever gone snorkeling out here in Hawaii. I like to take pictures of the stuff that he does while me and our little guy are hanging on the beach. And as Holden has gotten older, we've definitely let him do more ocean stuff, so I'm looking forward to scrapbooking those things as well. But here is just a nice picture of my husband and his friend out snorkeling. It's right before they went under, or started swimming out, whichever one you prefer to say. And I just picked the butterfly card to write the date on, just because it was really sweet. I really like the colors and how it kind of looks a little bit faded, almost as if it's antique. And then for the picture of my son, I just used one of the all-in-one pieces here to cut out the main part of the picture so that it would have a background and that I would know it would fit into the compartment up there. So then after I get this cut to the size that I needed, I just slid it right in there. so it would fit perfectly there. And again, it's my son at the beach, so it goes with the beachy theme there. Then on this fourth and final page for this video, it's the back of the third page, and using the all-in-one kit components again. So on this page, I came across a list of people who had taken a guess as to the gender of our baby. So I figured instead of putting that into the scrapbook, I would kind of just use the names with the all-in-one kit pieces and make a little gender prediction page. So here I'm just using one of the all-in-one kit pieces, and I'm just writing that this page is going to be a list of the gender predictions. And I cut out a little piece of the ocean view just to kind of keep with the beachy theme that seems to have started this scrapbook. Since we live in Hawaii, it's kind of hard to avoid the beachy theme, so might as well embrace it. So here I just took another of the 4x6 cards that came with the kit. I just wrote boy and girl on each side, and I'm just going through and trying to make the names of the people who took a guess look well written. I didn't want to try to use any faux calligraphy or anything like that because I didn't want to make it too fancy, and then the names seem separated or, I don't know, too bulky for the page. So I just tried to keep them nice and simple but still well written. And just some people in our families and a couple of friends that just took a guess whether baby number 2 was going to be a girl or a boy. We did this with my first son too, and I think that list of predictions made it into a different scrapbook. I might have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure it did. So then with the finishing of this list, it finishes the page really, and all I have to do is put the pieces in there. But then at the last minute, I kind of thought, you know, the gender predictions should go with the ultrasound picture. I feel like that order of pages would just make more sense logically. So I just kind of switched it around here at the end. I took out the 3 pieces from the beach page and turned them over and rearranged it so that the gender predictions would align with the ultrasound picture instead of having the snorkeling picture there. So you can see here the little pieces up close that I did for these last few pages.